You're listening to the Caramel Apples Podcast, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet. Our last discussion pondered on the nostalgia of back to school, and the kids are back to school, thank God, and the adults now can play. Come along with us on our Fall For It series, where we'll take you on a wild journey at the most recent Fan Expo with a little bit of everything to offer, but especially Star Wars highlights. But it all starts with a little bit of a road trip. With your hosts Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee.
So yay, we're going to unpack this caramelicious topic. But before all that, be sure to subscribe and say hello on social media. We love talking with you. And Kennedy, I don't know if you're like me, but after that nice long road trip, are you in the mood for some Java?
$100%.
We need a little bit of a pick-me-up.
We do.
We do take our coffee with a bit of cream and sugar. So feel free to visit buymeacoffee.com/RetroTrack Caramel Apples to see how you can give us a little caffeine boost. Thanks a latte.
All right. So we've been looking forward to doing this for a while.
Yeah.
We've got two different sets of Star Wars related topic content on our podcast. A lot of involved, very interesting stuff. You know, we talk about the different characters and whatever. We have our favorites, and we give a little bit of context of what all the original movies were about. We just got through with a smashing season of the prequels of Destinies for the Star Wars franchise, and we've had a lot of good feedback on that. You know, we have a good time with that, talking about it. And, you know, if it wasn't for Coop, she loves her Rennie Fest. She loves all things Comic-Con, Fan Expos, and all this stuff. So all I do is wait for the memo. And then I know we're off and running. So that's what this is going to be about. We're going to have a Fall For It few-part series, a multi-part series. So, you know, we always improvise. Just hang in there with us, but it was a wild ride. But, yeah, the Fan Expo for this year. A lot of caramelicious.
Oh, yeah. We are not short supply for sure. And as Kennedy mentioned, this is going to be exciting. You hang in there with us.
Yes.
It's going to get better and better, okay? But first, you got to get to that expo.
That's right. So, actually, we embarked on a little bit of a road trip.
Yeah.
That was amazing. From where we are, original pin spot. We are smack in the middle of the Midwest, but we stayed within pretty much. You just, you know, traveled around, and our trip consisted of about 5.5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to Chi-Town. Chicago, are you down? Oh my goodness.
And the answer is yes. Yes.
Oh, Chicago is down.
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, we were trying to be thinking about this, you know, and be thinking outside of the box a little bit. You know, it's been a while since we've actually done something, just the two of us as sisters, right?
Our lives are very different now.
Yeah, you know, we used to do this traveling all the time. But we weren't going to put the mileage on our own vehicles. We were like, let's just rent a car. So that's what we did. We rented a car.
That comes with maturity, see?
Yeah. That way, if anything happens, they're there at the ready. Yeah, they can help you along your way. So we rented a car and got started right away. But Tell them how things started the morning of.
Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, Coop is like, dot my I's and cross my T's. She tells me the night before, she goes, okay, because, she'd be getting home late from her secular job. So I was like, okay. She goes, so I want you at my place at 8:30 a.m. Stat. And I'm like, gotcha. Okay. We're all packed. I'm all ready. So, beautiful day. Sun's up, blue skies. I mean, just a perfect travel day. Perfect. You couldn't ask for better. Get out there. Her place, her yard's snatched, everything, it looks like she's going to bust outside right now. So I pull up there. I throw a text. I'm here. Crickets. I was like, okay, I'll give it a couple minutes. Like, okay, I'll give it a few more minutes. And so I decided to text again. Still crickets. And then I called. Nothing. I was like, I don't know what to do. Because we had to go. The reason why we were starting out early is because, we were going to swing and pick up the rental car.
Yeah.
And get that started and then go straight from there. We had all our stuff and all that stuff. So I was like, I don't know what to do because, the arrangements were on her end. So, fast forward. I'm knocking on every window of their house. The neighbors probably thought there was a crazy woman out there. Somebody's casing the joint. Stalking the place. Finally, the last thing I banged on, and of course, my kitty niece and kitty nephew, they come in and looked at me like, there's nothing we can do. You want to come in? If you were only taller, I would love to.
Right.
So they just looked at me with their cute little eyes. I was like, just waving at them. But anyway, the last window I tapped on, that's where Coop was. And then she was like, OMG. I was out. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, like you say, that's kind of like the best time of your sleep, right? Just before you need to get up. It's like you can always count on like clockwork. Why is it like that?
I don't know, but it gets you. It'll grab you.
It does.
And Coop did. She looked really tired. So good thing we already planned. I was going to start out driving. It's like, as soon as you hit the car and we're on the road, you can go ahead and sleep. You can pass out.
But never really did. We started talking. That's what we do.
Just yakking away, So like that, if that was fuel, we'd have been to the moon in about 6 hours instead of Chicago. But anyway, Chicago, are you down? But man, this was our mood though. Yeah. Seriously, that is the mood. Like we were pumped. The sun was out. The sky was blue. Oh my goodness. Traffic flowed pretty good.
Like you said, the weather was perfect. There was really nothing to kind of prevent, getting further along our journey, outside of stopping for gas. There was nothing perilous. There was no major accidents because usually with weather, it can bring along slower delays, but we'll get to there some other time.
But we are in the Midwest, smack in the middle of it. So like there's highway and then there's cornfields. Mm-hmm. A lot of cornfields. So like it can lull you into sleep if you were tired. So it's probably good that Kennedy was behind the wheel. But still, we were awake. We were talking and stuff, listening to music. This was very nostalgic for us because, we used to do this all the time.
All the time.
And I think the hubbies were a little disappointed that they weren't going with, but they had other obligations, so they really couldn't break away and go with this. We probably didn't really want to anyway. So they're probably like, thank goodness for life. But, but yeah, this was a good adventure. I mean, we had plans once we got to Chi-Town, we'd be staying real close to the airport,
Yes.
because where the actual Fan Expo takes place would be right there at the convention center connected there. And we stayed right there. That's connected there. So everything was really, really close. So we knew as tired as we were going to be after this road trip, there would be no opportunities to rest.
Right.
We hit the ground running. She's just like, hey, don't forget about the turbines. So yes, there were cornfields, but there were like these massive, there's like a whole field of wind turbines.
So cool. They are majestic, I think.
100%.
Right? Like power. That's the word that comes to mind. And I think that
Yeah.
is what they're doing, drumming up power or whatever. But I mean,
Yes.
that's what you think of with those things. They are so impressive.
We're all about the power.
Yes.
That's right. Because that's what our podcast does for the podcast world. That's what it is. So.
Thanks for going back and grabbing those.
Yes, because those were pretty awesome. You could just stare at them,
Yes.
But yes, we go from that power source. Then we got the road, all the traffic and everything. There's all that stuff going on, semis or whatever. You could tell we were getting close to Chi-Town because
Yeah.
you went from cornfields to then you're starting to see things off to the side. There were shopping centers, industrial parks. We actually were on the highway and we went by a sign for Hard Rock Casino. And who are they displaying on there?
Step inside. Walk this way. You and me, babe.
Hey! Yes. Def Leppard.
Yep.
I guess they have something going on there toward the end of the month. It
Cool.
might have been this week, actually. I think they were
been
advertising for. We were like, phooey. I mean, because we can't come back up here next week.
No.
But yeah, that was pretty much of a highlight. Like, Def Leppard, no way.
Very, very cool. Yes.
And
But again, you're hitting a big city when you're seeing signs like that. Like,
Yes.
they're just going to, any old person may show up here. Yeah, cool.
That's right. And we did a whole show about Def Leppard, so we'll link that in the show notes. But yeah, we're pretty nuts over them too. So yeah, the 80s were the best. But anyway. But like when we got there, we had just moments to spare because the drive was good. We didn't run into a lot of delays, but like our schedules were tight.
Yeah.
So once we got there, we got all our stuff in the car. I mean, we're staying there. Everything's connected, but it was still like we have not a lot of time to lose.
Yeah.
So Coop goes in, gets us checked in, which was by a fluke. She just wanted to let them know we were there. And they were like, yeah, you can go ahead and check in, early check. And we're like, really sweet. But our time was so close. We couldn't do anything. So we had to leave our stuff in the car and just get going. We had schedules to keep. So, and of course, we'll get all into that in the actual part 1 of our Fan Expo experience. So stay tuned for that. That will be next week. But man, I mean, the road trip part of it, though, was just amazing. So this is Cliff Notes. We're going to segue to coming home. So yes, we got home safely.
Yeah.
But the trip home was 180-degree difference from coming up.
Isn't that crazy?
It really was.
Oh my gosh.
So we had one umbrella between the two of us. Thank goodness we didn't need it because we were inside all the time. We really did not leave the premises.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I love this.
Yeah.
So we didn't leave the premises, and with one umbrella, we just got sprinkled on lightly.
Yeah.
Once we got in the car and headed back home, it all broke loose. I mean, it wasn't just rain, it was storm.
Yeah, like complete monsoon. Like when you were driving through, you could see the water splitting as tires were going through it. And it would be on both sides of the cars that were in front of you. So you're going to do the same thing. There were huge puddles on the ground.
Yeah, and there's a lot of construction.
Yes.
A lot of semis, and people are terrified to drive by a semi.
Right.
They probably, we think they got pretty much good control over it, but people are so scared they're white knuckling it. trying to get by them, about to flip their own car. We're trying to get away from semi.
That's right.
But like once we start getting closer to home, and I think we probably had maybe a 2.5 hours or whatever to go, we're back to cornfields. But we saw some cute signs for this resort.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like kids can go there, families can go there. There's restaurants, water parks, and all this stuff. And it's like, but it's all connected to dairy. It's a
Yeah.
dairy theme.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. And it was a nice setup. We finally where is this place actually? We kept seeing signs for about 5 miles out.
Yeah.
But then we go, oh, is that it over there? You can see the actual dairy establishment. It was to our right, and then just the next couple exits down the road is like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, and literally going on the way up, we had seen signs for it, and we saw the silo and stuff, but we didn't see the buildings actually because we were on the other side of the road. So it was cool to be able to see what was actually being advertised, and it was a lot bigger than we thought. Because
the moo cows.
Yeah, for all the signage they had, it makes sense. I mean, it seems to be a destination all of its own, which is really cool. And I think you can get gas there too, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think it had the whole setup.
Yeah,
I think it did have the whole setup. Of course, you know how this is on anything. Road trips, doesn't matter. Your best laid plans.
Mm-hmm.
And of course what we had set up for the rental car. Like you basically have to turn the car back in. That's what we chose, to turn it back in full. So we tried to run it as long as you could, but that's kind of tongue in cheek when you're driving through the sticks, when you're driving through the cornfield for the rules.
Yes.
So we got to the point where it was like, okay, we better think about this. We passed tons of rest stops, travel, truck stops, all that stuff. Then we get out to nowhere and it's like, uh-oh. So let's keep looking for signs, gas signs. Finally pick one. And it is a hot mess up here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had to go up and do a U-turn. Our GPS is yelling at us. Do a U-turn. Turn around. Do a U-turn. Make a U-turn. You can't do that. There's like a actual setup here. Traffic lights and stuff. There's traffic flow. You can't do that.
Right.
We had to go up, turn around, come back, go down the road. Finally get our gas. Try to get back on the road. And our exit to get back on the highway is closed. It is closed. Like, how are you going to close a whole exit? That is dumb.
Yeah.
So we had to do that whole thing again. Coop was like, man, it's going to take us another half hour to this. We've been spending more time in this little town, this little podunk town. Longer than we need to. She wasn't wrong.
Yeah. And you know how it is after any kind of event or, trip, anything, when you're finally on the way home, you're sad that the event's over.
100%.
But now that you're ready to get back to business, you're already on the way home, you're ready to just be walking in your door. So these kinds of things, you're like, oh my God, anything else?
Yes, and we missed the sound of the planes and everything, so yeah, I don't know. Road travels has its perks. We do miss airplane travel, but I mean, it's what it is. But this was amazing. Our road trip was amazing.
Yeah.
The Fan Expo, Fall Fort Fan Expo for this year. We have a lot of Carmelicious tidbits and treats to share with you over the next few weeks. Don't miss it. This is going to be quite the treat. I mean, we are still smiling from ear to ear from our experience there. We got to feel like kids again. Let's just say that.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Yes, we are. That's it for this week's Apple Snack, but there's more where that came from. Visit the Retro Orchard Weekly for a sweeter, nostalgic experience.